have come to the end of the book of Genesis. And just before we wind up, it would be good if we would have a recap of the things that we have learned in the book of Genesis. And to take us through, we are going to help each other with my friends, Baraka, Sparko, and then we are going to go through the subjects and the topics. So, we will start with Baraka. What is the first thing that we learned in the book of Genesis?
Yeah, thank you, Teacher Esther. We learned that God is calling us to learn by his works, and we learned about creation of the world.
Yes, Baraka. We also learned that God created man. And by creating man, he was showing us his love. Sparkle?
The other story was about Adam and Eve disobeying God, and we learned God's mercy, how he clothed them afterwards.
Yes, we also learned about Cain and Abel, how they took their sacrifices to God, and through the sacrifice, we learn of how the Lord Jesus gave himself as a sacrifice on the cross. Baraka?
Yeah, thank you. We also learned about God confusing the languages.
Yes.
That when people wanted to make a tower so that they will able to see God, God confused them. And we learned on how we need to obey God.
Yes, and then after that we learned about how God called Abraham, and he called him so that he could serve him. Sparko,
Yes,
what next?
Abraham and Lot making the right choices because God guided them.
Good. Baraka?
Yes, we also learned about Ishmael and Isaac being born, and we learned on how to trust in God.
Good, Baraka. What about Sparko again?
We also saw that God provided a sacrifice. That's the Son of God.
Good. Thank you, Sparko. Children, we also learned how Jacob and Esau were born. You can call him Esau or Esau. Yes, Jacob and Esau were born, and they had to learn God's ways. Baraka?
Yes, teacher, we also learned that God is calling us to make us like Jesus. And so we learned about Jacob and Esau reaping what they sow.
Good. Sparkle?
Yes,
Next.
we saw Jacob leaving his home, and that was also God teaching us or making us like Jesus.
Very good, Sparkle. Then, children, we learned how Jacob became Israel. His name was changed. God changed Jacob's name to Israel. And God can also change a name for you for a blessing. So, Sparkle,
Yes,
next.
we saw Joseph being a very obedient son to his father, and that taught us how we are supposed to do God's will.
Good, Sparkle. Baraka?
Yes, we learned that God is calling us to suffer for him, that Joseph suffered unjustly.
Very good. Then we learned how Joseph, who was Jacob's son, was protected by God when his brothers wanted to kill him. And God protected him and took him to Egypt, and he became a prince. Sparkle?
Yes, we were taught about forgiving others when Joseph was able to forgive all his brothers.
Thank you. Thank you, Sparkle and Baraka. I can see you have learned the book of Genesis very well. So, children, if there is anything you want to remember about the book of Genesis, you can Go to the Bible, learn about the entire book and all those characters and how God reveals himself to us and how he wants us to be through reading his word. And even after reading the Bible, if you want to learn more, you can keep up by subscribing to our YouTube channel.
Like our Facebook page.
And share, share, share.
Yes, and share as many times as you can. So, have a wonderful time. God bless you. And remember,
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.